Let me see this. Are these better?
Uh,
Yeah, I can't.
let's see. All right, Coach, when you get settled, just an opening statement on the win.
I think I'm happy with our third quarter, and that's about it. So I'm not a happy coach tonight, whatsoever. I thought we won the game, but I didn't think we executed today. I didn't think we were sharp, and I definitely didn't think they heard my message to start the game and in the pregame. And so, I'm really upset with our defensive effort today. Most, not our offense whatsoever. I'm really upset with our defensive effort, our ability to get down and guard without fouling. And so, again, I thought we had a really strong third quarter. We punched them, we went up 21. And then this team needs to learn how to be tough and have that killer instinct. And they don't have it right now, not yet anyway. So, I'm not happy with 8 offensive rebounds. Those are hustle and toughness things that we've got to work on. But in order to compete and beat the NC States and the Princetons of the world, you're gonna have to rebound and you're gonna have to guard. That's what wins big games. And so, we got some talented offensive kids, yes, but I was really focused on defense and rebounding today and seeing if we could put it all together. And for glimpses, we do it, but we open the door and let them right back in. So, other than that, I commend Holy Cross. Those kids play hard. Love Candace. She's been in the league for a long time in the A10 at Fordham, and she does a great job. And they're a good team. They're a good crew. So I commend them on their effort. But we've got to clean some things up, especially rebounding wise.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, Meg Cahaly with a career high 25 points today. You talked about the defensive struggles and how you were frustrated with the team defensively. She gave Scylla a lot of trouble. What did you see in that matchup that allowed her to find so much success tonight?
Well, because she's a very talented popper. She can really shoot the three. We did a lot of switching, and then we just were not tough on the down low. You got to fight. You got to be ready to battle. You got to have great ball pressure. We had neither. And so just pop it in there, pick you apart, take 4-footers, and that can't happen. So, I think we made her, she's a very good player, but, again, we made her look like an all-star today because there was no toughness with that. And we needed a lot more toughness, especially if you're switching.
Coach, you struggled from the 3-point line and the free throw line, 3 for 15 from the 3 and 14 from 21 from the free throw line. You said you're worried about the defense going into NC State and Princeton. Is there any worries offensively in those particular aspects of the game?
There are days we shoot the leather off the ball, and then there are other days we don't shoot it well. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But when you can't get stops, you're not gonna win. And I think we have enough shooting that they'll get going. They really will. I'm not really worried about that. Free throws I'm always worried about. We got to get up in the 80 percentile, 78 or above. So that, yes, I'm disappointed in that as well, because that's a freebie. Those are things that you can work on and you can control without pressure of someone guarding you. So free throws, yes, but again, you got to build the foundation on toughness, mental and physical toughness that you can battle right now. And right now, we wave a lot at times. And so, there are times where I go, are we going to get a stop? Or, in other years, it was like, no, I know we're getting a stop. So we got to work on that. We really do. But, the shooting, we still put up I can't even read 73 points, and we had how many woes? Last year we're lucky to put up 45 points. That's when I was really worried. I'm not really worried about offense right now. I'm not. We score in the 70s. We score enough to win. We got to get better rebounding and defending. You have to, especially when you go on the road. So that's really what I'm worried about.
Tammi, how much of this is just messaging for your players, you and the staff, knowing the fact that your games are about to get a lot more difficult here?
You would hope that they understand that. You hope they watch as much basketball as you, but they know it's the process of getting better every day. That's why I practice. You know, when we're taking reps off, when we're doing that in a game, when you're letting a team come back, when you're up 21, and you're just letting them score at will, those are the things that are going to bite you when you see a really, really good team. You can't expect everything's just going to magically change. You got to build those habits. You got to have that strong foundation. Young players don't realize that yet. They just don't. They think, every day is dead. No, you know. And so they understand, and I made them understand in the locker room just now about who they're about to see. In NC State and Princeton and Prov and Maine at Maine. I mean, we did not do, it is not an easy schedule. We go to the gauntlet. Then you got St. Joe's within that at St. Joe's. So, you know, they're about to see what toughness really is. And, you know, hopefully it builds character, but they've got to learn. And I don't want to learn a lesson the hard way. I wish they, you know, sometimes you have to, but I wish they took your word for it. And just did, but if that was the case, coaching would be easy, right? So it's just focusing on the process and really holding them accountable to what we want and how we want to do it, our culture.
You've already seen Rutgers on the road. How much will you lean on that experience to prep for NC State?
You know, again, a lot. You know, NC State is big like them. They have great size. They have great athleticism. They have a little of everything. They got great rebounding. They have great guard play. And so, you know, I think our kids, they're not scared of the big stage. They really aren't. It's, again, our habits. If we show up and we're locked in, we'll compete with NC State. We could win the game. If we don't and we play like this today, you're not beating NC State on the road. I mean, you know, anyone knows that. You can't. You got to go on the road like our men did last night and punch them in the mouth and put the game away when it's winning time. And that was toughness. And that's what they got to learn. That's what they got to learn.
Coach, you talked about the defensive struggles tonight. What worked in the second quarter to hold across to 8 points?
Well, I think we had 4 got in foul trouble, so she was on the bench. So that stretch, you know, we got down, we guarded, I went small a little bit, and we started getting out in transition a little bit, and we got stops. And, you know, I think it helped 4 was on the bench. She did get in foul trouble, I do believe. She had 2. So, but then 21 came in and hurt us, took us left, which was the scouting report. Yes, we knew she was going to go left, but we gave her a left hand. We bid on all the fakes. Those are the little things that you guys don't know, and when we do scout or we do things, and then you see it in the game. I don't get upset a lot with missed layups and things like that. It's going to happen. But when you blatantly, you know the scout and you do the complete opposite, that will frustrate a coach to no end. Those are the things that, and it should, because you can control that. You can control, you know, knowing the scouting report and being able to execute that. You're not going to control if you make every shot. You're not. So those were the things we focused on tonight, was defense and rebounding, and that's why, you know, I was so upset after the game, because we did not do what we were supposed to do in those 2 categories.
It obviously hasn't taken Vanessa Harris that long to get going. Just what do you see from her so far?
You know, Vanessa is extremely aggressive. Again, she came from a very good high school program in Bishop Mack. They D1 players left and right for years, and she came from a very good AAU program. So, and also in DC, she played against the best competition there was, day in and day out. So she's fearless. She really is. That's the biggest thing with Vanessa is, doesn't matter, next play. She could miss 10 shots in a row and she's still taking the game winner. It's what makes her so good is she's fearless and very aggressive offensively. She just is. And it helps she's a very strong guard. She's a big guard.
I would imagine if she's on the second team in practice, she's probably up against Brooklyn.
She'll go against Brooklyn, she'll go against Tavi, you know, usually it's our 2 guards. So sometimes her and BG will guard each other because they're built similarly. So she gets a little of everything. Sometimes she's guarding Inez to try to guard a little speed. When we switch, we'll mix it up a lot, but yeah, she goes against BG a lot.
You mentioned 3 veteran players there who played a lot of college basketball. Just how much do they have to teach a freshman coming in like that?
You know, it's really teaching her how to do things, her habits. You know, preparation, sleep, nutrition, everything matters. And freshmen usually, they're just trying to keep their head above water. Like I show up, I didn't get any sleep last night, I look a hot mess, I don't know the scout, I'm trying to, you know, get my classes together. So really teaching her how to take care of herself and prepare and be a pro, be ready. And you know, the senior leadership, Inez, Brooklyn's her bestie. They're like this, they're best friends, and so, you know, they really look out for her and keep her on the straight and narrow, you know, and when she starts to be a freshman, they pull her back. And Vanessa, she's young, she's a young 17, she turned 17 I think in December, so, you know, she's grown up quick, and we're gonna rely on her because she is an offensive weapon. She is. She'll be a big time scorer for us. A lot of times we're running ISOs for her and things like that, and she just goes. She makes things happen offensively.
Coach, going forward with Vanessa, is the plan to kind of keep her on the bench to provide some scoring, or could you see her potentially moving into the starting lineup, or does it kind of depend on the matchup, or just what is your plan with her going forward?
Really, it's substitutions a lot, and who we bring off together. There are certain combinations that don't play well together, and so it's not always the best 5-star. You know, a lot of people think that it's not always that. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it's matchups, but it also is coming off the bench. Sometimes you'll go, God, why did they punch him in the mouth when the bench comes in? Well, because I bring Inez, high energy, Vanessa, extremely aggressive, and now they're going against tired starters or subs. And those two kids could start. And so now you get the matchups you want, and also getting BG and Palmier out. And so it has a lot to do with substitution patterns on why Vanessa's not starting. Doesn't mean she doesn't deserve to start, because the kid could start. She could start tomorrow. But sometimes it's the bigger picture for the team. And eventually she's probably, if it's next year, if it's this year, but she'll be ready. She'll be ready to start. She's a weak kid. That doesn't bother her. Does she finish the game? That's what matters to her.
Any other questions? All set. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.